UFOs over the ocean. Facts, depths, and humanity's ancient memory. The ocean has always represented the boundary of the unknown. It covers most of the Earth's surface, yet remains the least explored environment on our planet. We know more about the surface of the Moon and Mars than we do about the depths of our own seas. And it is precisely here, above the oceans, that unexplained phenomena are reported more frequently than anywhere else on Earth. These phenomena are commonly referred to as UFOs, or more accurately, UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. As reliable data has increased, one striking pattern has become impossible to ignore. The ocean consistently appears at the center of these encounters. Modern evidence, not rumors, but data. In recent years, the topic of UFOs has moved beyond speculation and pop culture. The reason is simple. The primary witnesses are no longer anonymous individuals, but trained military pilots and professional sensor operators. A key role in this shift has been played by observations recorded by pilots of the United States Navy during routine training missions over the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. These encounters share a number of recurring characteristics. Objects were detected simultaneously by radar systems and infrared cameras. They demonstrated flight behavior beyond the capabilities of known aircraft. Instantaneous acceleration, sharp changes in direction, and sustained hovering without visible propulsion. In several cases, pilots reported that the objects emerged directly from the ocean and later returned beneath the surface, without splashes, without turbulence, and without any visible interaction with the surrounding medium. The most important point is not speculation about extraterrestrial origin, but the fact that military authorities have officially acknowledged that the nature of these objects remains unknown. This admission is documented in formal reports, and the accompanying footage has been declassified and released to the public. Why the ocean? From a rational perspective, the ocean is an ideal environment for such reports. First, it is vast. Second, large-scale military exercises and testing programs are routinely conducted over open water, meaning that advanced sensor systems, radar, satellite tracking, and infrared imaging are concentrated there. Where observation is more intense, anomalies are more likely to be detected. However, there is another dimension to consider. The ocean is also one of humanity's blind spots. The deep sea is largely inaccessible to constant monitoring. Satellites can observe the surface, but not what lies beneath. Human presence at extreme depths is brief and limited, and even modern submersibles explore only a tiny fraction of the ocean floor. If one were to imagine, hypothetically, that something unknown, whether a natural phenomenon, an experimental technology, or an entirely different form of existence, sought to remain hidden, the ocean would provide near-perfect cover. Movement independent of environment. One of the most puzzling aspects of reported UAP encounters is the apparent ability of these objects to operate seamlessly across different physical environments. Air and water impose fundamentally different constraints. Known technologies struggle enormously when transitioning between them. Submarines do not fly, and aircraft cannot plunge into the sea at high speed without catastrophic consequences. Yet several recorded encounters describe precisely this: a smooth transition between water and air without visible deceleration or resistance. This has led some analysts to suggest the presence of a technology or a physical principle that is not constrained by the environments in the way current human engineering is. Ancient sources, unexpected parallels. At this point, the discussion could remain focused entirely on future technologies, but another, equally intriguing layer emerges when we look backwards rather than forwards, towards ancient human traditions. Remarkably, similar themes appear across cultures, separated by vast distances and eras. In Islamic tradition, it is stated that the jinn were created before humankind. This is explicitly mentioned in the Quran, 1527. In classical commentaries and early transmitted accounts, which are not articles of faith but form part of the intellectual heritage of Islamic scholarship. It is suggested that jinn once inhabited the earth, and that some of them later withdrew to remote regions, such as deserts, mountains, islands, and the seas. It is essential to clarify that these accounts are not authenticated prophetic traditions and do not constitute doctrinal belief. Nevertheless, the recurring association of the ocean with non-human entities is striking. A global pattern, not an isolated one. If such narratives existed only within a single religious or cultural framework, they might be dismissed as symbolic storytelling. Yet similar ideas emerge across the ancient world. Mesopotamian traditions describe beings who came from the sea to instruct early humans. Greek mythology portrays the ocean as the realm of powerful non-human intelligences. In Japanese and Polynesian folklore, the depths are inhabited by sentient entities that occasionally surface and interact with people. Across cultures, the motif is consistent: the ocean as the dwelling place of the other, not necessarily benevolent or malevolent, but fundamentally different from humanity. Memory or metaphor? This raises a crucial question. Were ancient peoples describing real phenomena they lacked the tools to understand, or was the ocean simply a universal symbol for the unknown? The answer may lie somewhere in between. When confronted with experiences beyond comprehension, humans interpret them using the conceptual frameworks available to them. For ancient societies, these frameworks took the form of spirits, gods, or jinn. For the modern world, they manifest as UFOs and UAP. This does not imply that jinn and UFOs are the same phenomenon. Rather, it suggests that human perception of the unknown may be remarkably consistent across history, even as the language used to describe it changes, echoes across time. Another parallel is difficult to ignore. Both ancient accounts and modern reports emphasize similar characteristics: secrecy, sudden appearance, disappearance without trace, and a connection to remote or inaccessible locations. In the past, these locations were oceans and deserts. Today, they are international waters and restricted military zones. Technology evolves, terminology changes, but the core sense of mystery remains unchanged: what we know and what we do not. At present, only a few conclusions can be stated with certainty. Unidentified objects are indeed being observed over the world's oceans, and their nature has not been conclusively explained. This is supported by professional testimony and official documentation. Everything beyond that remains interpretation. Possible explanations include unknown atmospheric or oceanic physics, advanced experimental technologies, sensor limitations, or misinterpretations or phenomena that fall outside current scientific models. To directly equate these observations with ancient beings would be speculative, yet to completely dismiss the parallels may be equally premature. An open ending. The ocean remains Earth's final great mystery. While humanity searches the cosmos for signs of life, we still understand very little about the depths of our own planet. Perhaps this is why the ocean continues to occupy a central role in the most enigmatic observations of our time. What if ancient stories were not mere fantasies, but early attempts to describe phenomena that remain unexplained even today? What if the modern term UAP is simply a new label for an age-old mystery? For now, there are no definitive answers. And perhaps it is precisely this absence of certainty that makes the ocean such a powerful and enduring enigma.